Hello, hello, my beautiful people. It is good to see you yet again. We are back with another episode of our, in a way, Newfie Growlers slash Maritime Only Challenge slash Draft to Glory. There's a lot to it. But regardless, we're back with another episode. Now, following the completion of our first real draft with the team, of course, we did have that extra entry draft in between the expansion draft and Season 1. We set our sights on Season 2. Now, obviously, I skipped through basically the entire offseason because there was nothing to do. The only task at hand, it didn't even matter that we had a full coaching staff. I haven't optimized that. The only thing to do was to make sure that we brought in the best scouts that we could. B- is my kind of bottom grade that I'm willing to have. So we slightly changed up the scouting staff. We allowed the game to sign some free agents for me because we didn't end up signing any actual players that we care about. So, goaltending-wise, it's Zach Koff and Oscar Alnefelt, I think it is. Justin Pogge and Reynos were brought back, and obviously that's where a lot of our money is taken up. Now, it did sign Siegenthaler and Max Lajoie, but end of the day, I'm not really too worried about the game auto-signing those players for me, nor am I worried about Connor Bunneman, Tyler Steenbergen. If anything, it might help these young players actually get some ice time, develop into being even better players, and then maybe somebody else will sign them. So I actually kind of like that idea of them being on the team. But again, the last draft, it was interesting, right? Because this is the prospect pool that we now have. And again, Zachary Leroux, as I've learned, and some people are like, it's not Leroux, it's this. You know who I'm talking about. And I'm sure he'd be happy just being the face of this series. Look at that smile, $1 million smile. He is the top prospect that we have, but, Huckins as well at a high top 9. Very interesting potential. Defensively, obviously, we don't have an elite defenseman so far, but DeRoche and Plandowski, who's to say what they might be in the future. And we do not have a goaltender. We need to hope that changes in today's episode. So not too much else to catch you up on, aside from the fact that now we need to take a look at this upcoming class and hope that we have some decent players available to us. So we go to the queue. Top-rated player from the queue isn't even somebody that is available to us in this series. Of course not. It's Nathan Ngoshe, I'm guessing it is. So that's very highly unfortunate. Damn it. Now, next up, though, is Tristan Lenou. Also not available, or Luno, I guess it would be. Also not available out of Gatineau. We have Luke Woodworth from Drummondville, also not available. And then we get Johan Loshing? 65th in Central Scouting, and he is our top prospect. This is going to be brutal. James Swan from the Halifax Mooseheads, also available, as is Marcus Vidicek. Nolan Warren, another Gatineau player, not available. Dylan Andrews from the Titan. Another member of the Moosehead, Jordan Demise. Another Gatineau. Man, Gatineau, strong draft. Leighton Carruthers, great name for Sea Dog that we've seen available. Drummondville, Cape Breton, Jeremy Langlois, I'm guessing it is. Charles Edward Gravel, probably. Sherbrooke Phoenix, formerly Lewiston Maniacs, but not available. Sam Oliver is the first Islander that we have available to us. Shawinigan, not there. Chicoutimi, holy hell. Okay, his name literally goes nearly off the damn page. I know I have to try. Loris, or Larice, perhaps, but Loris Rafano Mezentsoa. God, I might just draft him anyway. Ramuski, Noranda, Blainville again. St. John, Dawson Stairs, great name. Another member of the Titan, Yannick Bastarache. I don't know. Nicholas, God, he's the goalie. Rucia, I don't know. God, the French names. Drummondville, Ramuski, Cape Breton, Matt Lint is available. And Miranda, Moncton, Maxim Barbashev, Sam Johnson, and we're in the 300s here, guys. So this, we're not yet at the point where we're going to have a ton of computer-generated players. It's going to start next season, and especially the season after, which is unfortunate because that means we are going to really, really struggle in this draft. Unfortunately, I mean, we might hit 400 before I see another player that's available to us. Good Lord. Sonny Cabate proves me wrong on that one. Sam Dow, nearly before the 400s. Robinson, Campbell. Okay, so this is going to be horrible. I hate to say that it's just kind of it's not necessarily a waste of time, but we are really going to struggle here. And unless there is a shocking turn of events in the draft where some of these prospects are a little bit better than I'm aware of in terms of how well EA's rated them, unless there is somebody who's much more highly rated, kind of like what we had in the last draft, I suppose, then yeah, it's going to be extremely problematic. Very, very problematic. Oh, one thing, by the way, actually, before we begin the sim, I did end up making a third jersey. We made the tribute to the Highlanders, because why not? But again, we basically set up the jerseys as the Newfie Growlers, because why not? But now we have the, yeah, it's not perfect. I couldn't change the logo because we already had two different versions of the Newfoundland logo. Newfoundland. But, yeah, so that works. I'm digging it. Not too bad. So let's go ahead. Let's pull this Band-Aid off. We shall sim through this season. It's gonna be brutal. All we can really do is hope for success. You know what? I'll see you guys on the other side of the season sim. I'm not gonna waste your time. I'll see you in a few minutes. We'll see how bad the season was for us. All right, guys, so here we go. 11, a very nice 69, and 2 record here in Season 2. Not ideal by any stretch if you're looking to win, but very ideal for a team that is looking to absolutely suck. As you get a look at the Atlantic Division, Toronto, Tampa, and Ottawa making the postseason here. In the Metro, it is the New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Washington Capitals, and then, of course, Columbus and Carolina in the 2 wildcard spots. The Central sees Dallas, Winnipeg, St. Louis, Colorado, and Detroit, of course, so we move back over to the West, making the playoffs. They actually acquired Jonathan Taves at the deadline and just beat out Chicago on tiebreaker to make it. And then Calgary, Vegas, and Edmonton make it in the other Western Conference division. So we were, by far, the worst team in the league. We have the number 1 draft odds, as we were looking forward to having, but as we know, it doesn't exactly mean much, does it? It's going to be very problematic if we don't start seeing improvements here. A lot less scoring this season. We had a bunch of players, all of these players, at least in terms of the amount you can see on screen, had at least 100 points last year. Not so much this year. It's Austin Matthews, 58 goals. He and Sagan, the only 2 to break 50. Scheifele, 73 assists. Defensively, Makar and Carlson, 73 points each. Falk and Morgan Riley were way up there, as was Rasmus Dahlin. Goal-scoring king was Justin Falk. Brent Burns still up there. For the goaltenders, the winningest was Ben Bishop. Best save percentage amongst starters, I'd say Henrik Lundqvist. Up there at a .920, now in Buffalo. And shutout leader was Darcy Kemper. For the rookies, Eli Tolvanen is going to win it over Alex Turcotte. And Alexei Voloshenko was also up there. Shane Bowers and Alex Barré-Boulet also up there at that point. So, not too shabby. We'll see how the playoffs go. We'll see how the awards go. And then we get down to business and we hope for the best, to say the least. Again, a lot of medium 9s, medium top 6 defensemen. Just give me some players here that can hopefully help us build up a decent foundation. Like, we're not going to find the superstars that we need in this draft, but the guys who might be able to fill out the third line, certainly the fourth line, the third defense pairing, depth defensemen, those are the type of players that we need as the Ottawa Senators win the Stanley Cup in Season 2. So, I mean, Eugene Melnyk promised them a Stanley Cup. Within 4 or 5 seasons, they got it. So they beat St. Louis and denied them of a second cup in 3 years. So award-wise, back-to-back Canadian Cups. Tyler Seguin won the Art Ross and the Hart. Falk wins the Norris. Seguin wins the Lady Byng, the Calder, 2 Tolvanen. Matt Murray won the Conn Smythe. Great game. Hellebuck wins the Vezina. Let's see who else. Wow, we actually didn't have the Masterton winner, which is hilarious. Detroit's head coach won the Coach of the Year. Ryan O'Reilly, the Selke. Seguin, the Ted Lindsay. And Austin Matthews with his first Rocket Richard. As the Grand Rapids Griffins win the Calder Cup. Some dude named Shea scored the most points. He was also league MVP. Anton Lundell scored the most goals. Thomas Harley was the top rookie, as well as the top defenseman. Louis Domingue, top goaltender. And Shea was also the MVP of the playoffs. So, hell of a season for that guy. Hell of a season for that guy. Actually, let's take a look here. I just realized I didn't see Ottawa's lineup. I know a lot of people like to find out who was on these cup-winning teams. It looks like Thomas Chabot led the way for the Sens. He did. Tyler Johnson, Mikael Granlund ending up there. Zach Hyman reunited with Connor Brown. Andreas Athanasiou. So a lot of movement for the Sens. That defense didn't change much aside from David Savard, although Sergei Kuznetsov is there. And as we know, Matt Murray was the guy leading the way. So, hey, if that team can win a Stanley Cup, then who's to say that we can't throughout this series? Now, we're going to get the lottery odds here. We end up losing again. We fall to 4. Doesn't hurt us whatsoever. You know, it wasn't a high-stakes lottery situation for us where it's like, oh, if we don't get the number 1 pick, we're definitely not getting this guy. So it didn't really matter. As Marian Hossa retires, I actually tried to sign him as a free agent. He rejected and decided to stay home all season long. So good for him. Jay Bomeister, Andy Green, the top defenseman, calling it a day. Curtis McElhaney retiring. As Henrik Lundqvist is going to stick around. Fair enough. I can respect it. A lot of new scouts there from the staff members as well, including a few of our guys who just retired. But here we go, the main event. Like I said, I didn't want to waste too much time before we got here. Not going to be the longest episode in the world, but who says every episode has to be a 30-plus minute barn burner? We get to the draft, and in terms of the rankings, as you can see, we haven't had anybody improve. So let's take a look at how the top 3 goes. It's Vancouver, Montreal, and Boston. You got Mann, 83 overall medium elite, Shane Wright going to the Montreal Canadiens, and Brad Lambert to the Bruins. So that leaves us with this pick. It will not be Yuri Lazarev. It will not be John Esposito, Ralph Bednarz, Jimmy Myers, Matthew Savoy. And I wish it was going to be Nathan Gaucher, but it's not going to be. We go to the queue. It is, oh God, either one of these two would have been great. But again, not going to happen. No QC, no Gatineau, no Drummondville, no Gatineau again. So our first option here, it actually changed. Marcus Vidicek is now the highest rated player on Central Scouting, with Johan Loshing falling further down. And we have a lot of players here who are in the 70s, a lot of medium 9s. Loshing's definitely going to be picked up. It's just a matter of who goes first out of these confirmed medium 9s. 3 years out, potentially 2 years out. Interesting. These guys seem very close. 3 Bs, 3 Bs. Only 2 Bs for Vidicek, but he might be a little bit better. I think we got to go for this guy and hope that he is actually just 2 years out. I mean, yeah, he has higher grades. So Jordan Demise, I mean, who would have thought you were going 4th overall, but congratulations, you are. He is a 63 overall, medium top 9. As tragic as that is, especially when Esposito and Bednarz, Lazarev, Jesus. We did a lot of teams a very, very, very big favor by being limited like we are. Shout out to Jay Thornton. Is your name Joe? I have to know. Jalen. All right, cool. So that brings us to the second round. We already know the caliber of player, essentially, that's going to be available to us. And it's going to be Loshing. Johan Loshing, or Johan Loshing, is going to be the guy. We're going to hope for the best. We don't know what that ETA is. Hopefully he's better than a medium 9. He isn't. Okay, so 2 medium 9s. Again, this is kind of what I was talking about here. At least these guys are going to have a chance to help fill out the bottom 6 when the superstars hopefully eventually join the team. And that leaves us here, decision-making time. Pick number 60. So the majority of these players are about to be selected. All right, yep, so it was worth looking here. So Jeremy Langlois is 5 years out at 18. Carruthers, 4 years out, as is Dylan Andrews, but saying to avoid him. And then we also have Swan, potentially 4 years out, and Vidasek. It's got to be Vidasek, we know for sure, just in case Carruthers ends up not being half decent. So Marcus Vidasek from the Halifax Mooseheads is the pick, and he is just about the same. So 3 straight medium top 9 forwards to help fill out this team. Swan was also a medium top 9. I don't really think we ended up screwing anything up here. Andrews was medium bottom 6 as expected. Langlois was medium 6. Medium bottom 6 for Carruthers. So we did as well as we could there. It's been a solid draft. It's been everything that I've needed it to be so far, or at least that I expected it to be. Unfortunately, now is where it falls apart, because Sam Oliver has to be the pick. The only benefit is that he's 17 years old, but this draft, in terms of available options to us, it's about to fall off a cliff. So we take the medium bottom 6 forward. It's been all forwards so far as we go to round 5. And yeah. I mean, we're essentially screwed. Yeah, there isn't anybody that we really have the info on. So we looked at pin players here. And this is all we got. Honestly, it's got to be anybody who isn't in the 300s. And if that only leaves us with 2 options, it leaves us with 2 options. But unfortunately, a ton of these guys fell down through Central Scouting. So it leaves us with Barbashev and Lucas Canning. And we're still going to need one more. So we will take Maxim Barbashev. He is terrible, as expected. We'll take Lucas Canning next, and then a goalie in the 7th round, I think, just to hope for the best. So let's go ahead and pick up Luke Canning here. Also terrible. Good God. And the 7th round. So we got 3 decent players, 1 meh, and then it just falls off a cliff from there. So the highest rated goaltender, you know what I actually want to do here? Can I sort by height? Good, it does still let you do that. Tallest goalies, for the hell of it. You got Adam, Jean, Sherbrooke option, Huskies, Drakkar. It's this guy. Let's take him. Let's take him. How good are you? AHL starter. No surprise there. So as we kind of knew, as I set the stage for, it was going to be a bad draft. I didn't want to waste your time and just be like, oh, but this might be good. No. It was never going to be a spectacular draft for us. But the hope now is that next year's draft actually gives us a few more options, now that a lot more computer-generated players are going to be involved. And of course, we're still about 1 season out from having to sign some of the guys we've already drafted as well. So still in the early stages, still in the building block process of what we're doing here. LaRue, though, stepping up to a 69 overall at 19 years old. He's going to be decent by the time we have to sign him at the end of next season. And that hopefully is a good indication some of these guys are going to develop for us. For now, though, we are done here already. Can you believe it? We will be back, hopefully tomorrow, with the next episode where we will again go a full calendar year. We'll get through that next draft and see how things go. In the meantime, you know the deal. It's YouTube. Gotta ask you. Drop a like on the video if you're enjoying the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out everything in the description, the socials, link to the Patreon as well, where we have an exclusive series going on there. Similar style to this, of course, involving two-way forwards and defensemen. That is for those beautiful people, like you're seeing on screen, those beautiful people in the $10 sub tier. I love you all. I will see you next time. Until then, have a good one. Take it easy, and goodbye.